tonight?
Herbie's going into service tomorrow.
I'm becoming an astronaut. That'll be great. What?
An astronaut.
Herbie? Oh, Josh. Josh. I'm putting in with them missile flying fellas.
If John Glenn going into politics, that leaves place open for Herbie. Come on, girls. That's Herbie.
Hey. Herbie going to be an astronaut. Wow, boy. Hate it.
Bob doesn't think so. Or Billy, or Bobby, or Mr. Drucker. Even Junior Hopper wasn't able to laugh about it.
See, if he was to become an astronaut, he'd be the most famous person ever to come out of Hooterville, wouldn't he?
No doubt about it.
You know a shrewd manager. Push him into politics after he gets out. Make another John Glenn, huh?
Uncle Joe.
I might put my brain behind Herbie. Give him something to fall back on. Sure, that boy's okay. He's a real comer. Howard, welcome to shake your hand.
Old Joe. Old Joe's kind of moving slow.
Heard his brothers, everybody was welcome.
I don't include you, wise guy.
What's up, Squid Game? Just getting the back side of this fender prep for some bed liner. We'll hit it with some 80 grit. What's up, Yancey? Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. Just doing the back side of this, inside of this fender with 80 so we can bed line it. Gotta have some good tooth. Then we'll be done with this fender. We'll do the other one. Like I said, we're just hitting the back. What's up, Henry? Happy New Year to you too, man. Like I said, we're just hitting the back side with some 80 grit. Then when we tape all this up and spray bed liner in here to protect the back side of this, because it's already got 2K epoxy on it. And if we cut through with the then we'll spot prime it just a little bit. But we're gonna spray all this in here with bed liner, and then we're gonna tape all this up. We're gonna paint this side under hood black to match the core support, and then all this will be taped up, and this will be gloss black. So when it's all bolted together, and the core support is bolted to this, and you raise the hood hinges is gonna be satin black because they're brand new, and then the bottom of the hood is gonna be satin black. So when you raise it up, everything that's touching each other will be satin black, and then the engine bay is bronze, and then the inner fenders are bronze. So that's the plan anyway. It's a little chilly in here this morning. I turned the heat down a little too far last night. So about 45 degrees in here this morning, but it'll warm up here directly, so it'll be all right. It'll be all right. get all this stuff sanded, start to get everything hung up on the carts. This stuff will have some color on it next week. The plan anyway. Gonna go cut some wood Saturday, but looks like it's gonna rain. We're gonna cut a tree down Saturday and cut it up for firewood. Let's hope the rain holds off. Damn, that's sharp. Sharp! Hope everybody had a safe night last night. Hope you ain't got no regrets this morning. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking for that Bloody Mary this morning for that hangover. I believe that'll work right there. It's running pretty good. I haven't put no wood in it this morning. The water's about 100, I think it's about 190 degrees this morning. I filled it up last night, or filled it up yesterday evening about, I don't know, after I ended the live yesterday. I jumped on Mike's live for a little bit. I think it was right at 7, a little bit after 7. I filled it up. I put a layer of green wood, and then some red oak, then green, then red oak, then green, then red oak. And then shut the door and seal it. And so the water's about 190 degrees this morning. I think the fan come on 2 times last night, maybe. Got up this morning, it was about 70 degrees in the house. And then I checked it this morning and it's about that deep in coals. So I'll check it about lunchtime and see. Well, this fender right here is done. That fender's done, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's get on to this one. Hold on a second. What's up, rock fan? You work every day? Yeah. Been sober for years. Hey, that's good. That's good, Floor. Yancey, working man. Yeah. You know what, Yancey? That right there is I mean, let's say this right here. You only see probably 5% of what I got going on during the day. I mean, I know I get on here and I go live a couple times, but you only see about 5%, even if that, of the day. There's so much stuff that goes on. It's just unreal. And like Yancey said, a working man can't take no break. No. Yep. Yeah, a working man can't take no break. And that's why I don't understand. I don't know. I guess I'm just wired different. I don't understand how a grown man can say, I'm bored, I ain't got nothing to do. that baffles me to no end. Like, they'll sit around and say, man, I'm bored, I ain't got nothing to do. Shit. Man, there's always something to do, man. There's something always to do. I mean, you just think about it. Just a few days, it was Christmas. Now we're New Year's. Where'd those days go? Poof, gone. Hell, before too long, it's going to be springtime. It's going to be turkey season. Poof, we're going to be chasing thunder chickens. We're going to be looking for turkeys. I mean, and then poof, we're going to be right back again at Christmas. I mean, just, you blink a damn eye and it's gone, man. When you were younger, you were looking for the future. When you're older, you're looking at the past and wait and would hope the damn future would hit the brakes. I'm off, man. Oh yeah. Farm life don't stop neither. Hell no. Hell no. Man, there's so many chores to do, man. You get up, you gotta tend to the animals, you gotta tend to this, you gotta, I mean, shit. Yeah, I just don't understand. 900 things. Now, I mean, we are going to have New Year's dinner today. We got some stuff cooking today. You know, got that going on. Got some collards, got some pork chops soaking. I mean, there's other stuff that's going on. Got, you know, pork chops and collards. Got all that stuff soaking, getting ready to go. So we'll start that here later, but always something to do. Yeah, I got I got about 4 or 5 trees that I want to cut down and get them busted up, but I can't. I made a mistake one year and I cut about 13 red oaks down at the same time that needed to be cut down. I cut down 13, and I'm talking about grown ones. 13 red oaks. I mean, grown ones. I had a buddy, I had this guy down towards Rockingham. He said, hey man, I'll come help you. He said, I'll come help you lay them on the ground. I said, all right. So he come one Saturday and helped me lay them on the ground. He's like, you want to lay all these on the ground? I said, yeah man, just lay them out in the field. Just, and I'll cut them up. That was the worst damn mistake I ever made in my life. Well, one of the bad choices, I guess. Man, I would go up there every weekend and cut a tree up, bust it, stack it, load it, bring it back here, fill a wood crib up every Saturday, man. That's what I was doing, cutting wood, busting wood. And then now, since the trees are laying in the field, I can't mow around them. And we cut them down. We cut them down when we could cut them down. We didn't cut them down in the winter. We cut them down in the fall. So you got all the leaves and all the man. We cut one poplar tree down. It was over 100 foot tall. And the only reason why I cut it down is because the guy that I know had a miser. He had a wood miser. And he said he could cut it into boards because I was going to build some duck boxes out of it and some other stuff. I mean, it was 100 foot tall, big old pop. He come over and looked at it. He said, yeah, I can cut that up in boards. Man, we cut that sun gun down, laid it on the ground. I cut it in like 10 or 12 foot sections. And then when it come time to cut them, the guy never would come get them. He never would come get them because I couldn't pick them up. Never would come get them. Man, they just laid there and laid there and laid there and laid there. Man, I was so disappointed, man. I was so disappointed. 100 foot daggone poplar tree. I was gonna cut it and make into duck boxes. And it'd have been like 12-inch wide boards. Never come got it. So you know what I had to do? I had to cut that poplar tree up, busted it, and burn it for firewood. Man, you talking about mad. I was mad. Yep, wasted that tree. You choose to be a farmer. but this farm, you choose to be a man. You choose. Hey, what's up, Eric? You choose to be whatever you choose to be. You can be a pizza guy. You can choose to work at Walmart. You can choose to be working at Lowe's. You can choose to be a daggone trash picker upper. You choose to be whatever. That's life, man. It ain't just a farmer. Hell, I'm a welder too. Things sneak up on you when you get older, I think. That's funny. I ain't gonna read that out loud. That's funny right there. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Funny. Potbelly pigs. No, I don't raise no pigs. There's pigs wild around here, man. There's pigs wild around here. It ain't no, man, if you want some fresh pork, all you gotta do is go out in the woods, man, and find you a daggone herd of wild hogs. Turkeys. All right, you got my attention, Yancey. What about turkeys? Let me turn this TV down. What are you talking about turkeys? What are you talking about turkeys? What are you talking about? You got my attention. All right, so we just put. So we got 400. We've already guide coded this, so we're gonna dry sand this 400. You do it in a crosshatch pattern, so you go this way and go this way, like the letter X. Oh yeah, old Thunder chicken. Old Thunder chicken. Let's see if I can turn this around. There we go. All about hunting. I'm gonna use some bedliner. I'll probably use quartz. Or you get more product with quartz, so I'll probably use quartz. Squirrels? Oh yeah. Long time ago, there's this guy I used to hang around with a long time ago. And we used to have a little competition on squirrels, all right? So you take a 10-22 Ruger, and I'd be on one side and he'd be on one side, and then we walked the holler. And the thing was, for everyone in the, you got $1. The other man owed you $1. For everyone that you didn't and you done it in the body, you lost $1. And we used to do that, man. I had a good time doing that, but that was a long time ago. Then a buddy of mine a few years back invited me. He said he had these little Jack Russells, and he was going squirrel hunting. We never used dogs, but he had a little Jack Russell to go squirrel hunt. He invited me to go. And I showed up, and I had my little 10-22, and he said, Oh, what's up, SWC? What's the weather down there in Florida this morning? Ripping lips, burning drags, and bent poles, boys and girls. You want to go on a charter fishing trip in Florida? That's your guy right there, SWC Florida. So I showed up and I had my little 1022 Ruger, bull barrel, suppressed, all this good stuff. He's like, man, what are you planning on doing with that? I said, we're going squirrel hunting. And he's like, nah, man, I got this 20 gauge and my brother's got a 10 gauge and I got a 12 gauge. I said, okay. So where we were at, it was big trees, big tall trees. Little dogs, they done good, man. They'd squirrel a tree, they tree a squirrel, just be doing their thing. And they'd be just shooting up in the tree. I'm sitting over there, just sitting over there on my little chair. Got me a little fold out chair, my little turkey chair, just folded out and sat down. He's like, man, he's trying to move, man, he won't move. They sat there for a few minutes. I said, you want me to get that squirrel for you? What? I said, you want me to get that squirrel for you? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, I can get him for you if you want me to. He said, and I got all this on video on GoPro, but I can't post it because for what it is. All right. I said, I can get that squirrel for you. He said, you think so, JG? I said, oh, I know I can get that squirrel. He said, well, go ahead and do your thing. I sat down there, get like right there. I sat in there and I looked and I said, there he is. He's at the very top. The son gonna stuck his head up out like there. Pulled just sounded like a little pellet rifle. And all you heard was, that's all you heard. I went. And he said, man, I think your thing misfired. I said, it didn't misfire. He just, and all of a sudden, he just, some gun fell out of the tree, hit the ground. Dog run over there and grabbed it. He said, give me that dog, give me it, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. They put it in their bag. Needless to say, the rest of the day, they didn't even hardly shoot. I sat back and just, he picked it up and he said, man, you shot that thing in the, I was like, yeah, that'd be $1. He's like, what are you talking about? And then I told him. We got a 3-man limit on squirrels. Then we went to another place for some fox squirrels. And we got our limit on fox squirrels. And the other guy that was with us, his brother that had the 12 gauge, he's like, man, that ain't no fun, man. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't get to shoot any. And I was like, go buy you a 1022 Ruger. He's like, man, I never thought about taking a center fire rifle squirrel hunt. I said, yeah, y'all shooting up in the nest with a shotgun trying to get them out. And then they'll be dead in the nest and you never get them. If you just go, I said, they'll stick their head out to see what's going on and then boom. No, I'm not in Rockingham. I'm not far from Rockingham, though. You talking about down there on Game Land, down there in Hoffman. That's what you talking about. Doing the wiggle leg. Yeah, just. Hey, I seen one, SWC. I seen one time, was hanging on the tree and it would run down and then just, boom, hit the ground. Man, I got one on video. This is no crap, man. I got one on video. It was me and my brother when he was still alive. Picked that son of a gun up and flipped it over and I said, would you just look at the nuts on that son of a gun. This buck squirrel, this male squirrel had nuts the size of daggone walnuts. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I've been in the woods a long time. I have never seen a gray squirrel have nuts that big. Them son of a guns, I'll go find the video and I don't know if I can post it, but I might put it members only. I'll go get that video and post it. That son of a gun had the biggest nuts. And we like, damn, look at the nuts on that son of a gun, man. And then we went hog hunting one time, and the name of the dog was Josie. We went hog hunting one time, and my friend he runs hogs with dogs, and I got this video, and I gotta be careful how I say this. The dog, for some reason, the dog had some kind of daggone fetish. I don't know, man. Every time that dog would run up to a boar hog, he would reach up there and grab that boar by the nuts. And he would pull. And he would try to pull that hog out of the hole or whatever. And he would pull. He would literally pull the nuts out of a damn wild boar and spit them out on the ground. They look like... the first time I seen it, I pulled up and the dog was like, and I looked at the guy that owned the dog and I said, what the hell is that? He said, he always does that, man. He rips the nuts out of them every time. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And he's like, no, serious. So I had the GoPro on and you recorded it, and they're laying there on the ground and they the size of your fist just laying there. Yeah, just crazy, man. Now I know chipmunks and flying squirrels. I know that when they fight, the males will snip the other nail. I know chipmunks and flying squirrels. When they get to fighting, they will snip the nuts out of the other male so he don't breed, so they die out. I do know that. I've seen that before. I've watched that in the woods in the deer stand. I've watched it turkey hunting. Daggone flying squirrels and chipmunks running around, and all of a sudden you see them get down there, and then the squirrel, the chipmunk will be over there, and then next thing you know, the chipmunk or the flying squirrel run up the tree or whatever, and then all of a sudden he'll just sit there and just wiggle, and then all of a sudden he'll fall, and you'll be like dead. And you're like, what the hell happened to him? And you go over there after you hunt, and you pick him up, and his nuts be snipped out. Yeah, I know, Yancy, right? Yeah. The name of that dog was Josie. That's some gun. He was a mean-ass dog, but mean-ass dog, boy. Funny. I was hunting this cutover one time with my brother, and we was hunting private land, and we was hunting a creek bottom, and it just had been cut the year before, so it was a cut over, but it was a little bit growed over, not much. It was a year old cut over, and we was turkey hunting, and you heard some gobblers, and they flew down and all that stuff, all that good stuff. And then the next thing you know, we heard this hen just. I mean, she was cutting up like a flat tire. I mean, she was. And my brother said, man, they ain't no way in the world that's a daggone. That ain't no way in the world that's a damn chicken. That's a turkey. I said, what? He said, they ain't no way that's a turkey. I said, why is that? He said, son of a gun won't shut up. He said, somebody's slip hunting over here on my property. He had some property leased. I said, you think so? He said, I mean, this son of a gun went on for like, brother, hey, Happy New Year. This son of a gun went on for like 30 minutes straight. Would not shut up. Just, I mean, just would not shut up. Almost like me talking. Would never shut up. So my brother said, come on, we're going to slip down here. We're going to catch this joker at the creek bottom. Because they were coming up the creek bottom. And we was up on this ridge. So we went over the ridge and went down the creek. We went down in the holler and we come back around. And then we set up where this creek branch is. The creek branch it came like 2 and then it went to 1. So we set up on this little island looking down the creek bottom. So whoever was walking up the creek bottom, because that's where the turkeys would roost, they'd roost on the creek bottom, and then they'd fly down and they'd do bugging and stuff on the creek bottom. So my brother, he was a few years older than me, and he said, I'm telling you, JG, I'm telling you, that's somebody with a damn mouth call walking up the creek bottom, running their mouth. Just trying to get a gobbler to come out or do whatever. I said, all right, cool, whatever, man. It was his property, it was his hunt. We took turns, so I'd be the call guy, he'd be the shooter. He'd be the call guy, I'd be the shooter. We just back and forth. And if he missed, I'd be cleanup. If I missed, he'd be cleanup. I never missed. He missed all the time. He used a 10 gauge. He loved that 10 gauge. Man, he missed more than anything with that damn 10 gauge. So we get around there, we go over the ridge top, we go down the creek bottom, we walk in the creek so we don't make no noise in the leaves. We get down to the bottom where the creek goes from 2 to 1 like that right there. We set up on this little island where the peninsula was at, and we're looking straight down the creek bottom, coming up the hill. We get all set up, and we're sitting there just waiting. And I told him, I whispered to him, I said, if that's somebody, we're going to scare the shit out of them. You know that, right? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I'm going to find out who's slip hunting, right? Love the content. This is it. Hey! What's up, my guy? Hey, man, I appreciate it, Avery. I appreciate it, man. Hey, we got 5 bushels of them bad boys ready for the day, baby. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I appreciate it. So we sitting there, right? Here comes this daggone noise up the creek bottom. All right. This son of a gun is making all kinds, just not real loud, but just will not shut up. Like me, just talking. Sure enough, what's up, man? Sure enough, comes up through here, there's a holly bush, right? Big ass holly bush. We sitting there like this right here waiting. All of a sudden, poof, pops out. My brother looks, and then he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, I be damned. It was this damn old ass hen. We call them boss hens in the woods. Old hens, right? Because you can't shoot hens around here unless they bearded. Now, if it's a bearded hen, you can take it. But if just a regular hen, no hen. In North Carolina, we don't have a hen season unless it's bearded. There's this old, raggedy ass hen. She would not shut up. It was her. And my brother looked at me and I just laughed. I was just, laughed under my breath. And he said, I be damned. And we just sat there and watched her, and she came all the way up to the peninsula. She scratched around, done a little bit of bugging, and then she went right up the ridge bank and went up and went over. And she never shut up. And she went all the way to the adjacent property and just kept going. And then after she left, about 10 minutes, we just waited. And he says, how long we been turkey hunting? I said, we've been 30 years. He said, I have never heard a damn hen act like that. There was something wrong with her or something, or she was just mad as hell or something. I guess, or she just wanted the whole damn creek bottom to know that she was there. And she made and we talked about that for years, man, for years. I don't have no videos of it, but I got pictures where we're on the creek bottom. But she would not shut up, So that was that. And then one time we was turkey hunting, and we was in a block of hardwood trees, red oaks, white oaks, pin oaks. We was in pine. There were some pines, but we were in a heavy hardwood tree area. Now I'm blocking this fender out with 400, right? So we sitting there, and my brother is like 2 or 3 trees over, I'm at this tree. I'm leaned up against this big ass red oak. And if you've never been turkey hunting, you can't move. You can't move. Once you get set up, you got to stay set up. You got to keep everything covered except your eyes. I mean, you got to be completely covered. And then that, they make some masks that cover up your eyes, and it's got little peripherals where you can see through it. You cannot move, right? If a turkey could smell you, you would never harvest a turkey. Never. They can see and hear like nobody's business. Smell, they can't smell. If they could smell, you would never harvest a turkey ever, never. They're so smart, they're stupid, and man, the first little thing that flitches out of the way, it's over with. So, I was underneath this holly tree. There was a holly bush, a holly tree, but it growed up to a bush. I got up underneath it, so I had the holly limbs hanging down over me. I'm sitting on the ground, and that was the first year that I made my wing bone call, right? So I made a wing bone call out of the wing bones of a turkey. And I'm sitting there, and my brother's like, I'm here, and he's like adjacent in front of me. So I'm standing, I'm like, he's here, and I'm here, right? So I can see him, and he can't hardly see me out of the corner of my eye. He can see me a little bit. So what we're doing is I'm calling, so when the turkeys come in, he's in front of me and he would shoot, right? So I was the call guy that day. So I'm sitting there, and I'd call with the turkey call, and I'll show you. I got it in the house one day. I'll do a video on it. So I did the call, and I'd ruffle the leaves like bugging, like chickens, you know. I'd do the call, and then I pick, you know, I do it with the daggone wing bone, like, hey man, I found some groceries, you know, and I'd rustle the leaves. You got to remember, I'm deaf in my left ear, so I can't hear shit in my left ear. But I got my hearing aids in, right? And my hearing aids put all the noise from my left side to my right side. So I'm literally up against the tree like this, and I'm trying to listen to everything. And I do the wing bone call, and then I rustle the leaves, and then we got some wings, and I'd shake the wings, you know, so hey, there's somebody over there bugging, right? So I'm sitting there, and we hear this gobbler in front of us. He gobbles off, right? So we're sitting there, and a gobbler, he gobbled in front of us. I mean, he just. So basically, I don't know how anybody else does it. Now, I'm not the best turkey hunter by no means, but I know what works for me. So when the turkey gobbles, I start counting. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. I start counting, right? And then I count the intervals in between their gobbles. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. And you keep doing that to see if they're moving, right? So when they gobble, they usually strutting out in the open, you know, so hey, look at me, I'm a pretty boy, I'm a big boy, right? So, but if he thinks there's a hen ready, which I'm acting as the hen, hey, I'm up here, big boy, come see me. So if I get him fired up, if I get him fired up, he's coming. He's coming to get some loving, is what he's doing. So you count. So he's moving. So finally he gobbles, and when he gobbles, I cut him off like, shut up, dude. I'm trying to tell you I'm up here, and I'm ready for some loving. Like, he'd be like, and I'm like, yeah. And I shut him down. And then I do it again, and I do it again, I do it again. I piss him off, right? So he just gets mad, just blah, 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 blah. And then I do it one good time, and then I shut up, right? Appreciate it. Just shut up. And then he gobbles. He gobbles. He's like, hey girl, where you at? Hey girl, where you at? And then I count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Now he's moving, right? He's moving. He gobbles, and then he's getting closer, and he's closer, and he's coming up, and you can hear him. Here's another thing. When humans walk in the woods, we have a pattern. Animals walk in the woods. That's how animals know that humans are in the woods before they even see you, because the way you walk. It's a rhythm that's not the same rhythm that's in the woods. And if you can learn how to walk, man, I'm giving y'all so much. If you can learn how to walk in the woods and not sound like a human, you can literally walk right up on shit and they won't even know you're there, because it's the pattern that you have. Your feet is how you walking, right? So anyway, you hear him gobble, and then I don't say nothing. Then he gobbles again. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. And then my brother, I go, and he turns around and look, and I point, and he gets ready, and he gets on his shooting stick. He gets up on his shooting stick like this right here, and he's ready, right? You want to try to get a turkey in. I mean, the furthest I ever shot a turkey was 67 yards. 67 yards is the furthest I've ever shot one with my 930 Mossberg with my double X full choke with long beard, heavy shot. Like 67, 70 yards. I lobbed that, and I got that on video. I lobbed that. I got that on GoPro. I lobbed that sucker out there to reach out there and touch somebody. I got tired of that son of a gun. He wouldn't come no further, and we was in a field. Now, I wasn't in the woods. I was in the edge of a field line. I messed him up like a daggone sack of taters. But anyway, my brother knows that this turkey's coming, right? So he gobbles off one more time, just blah, 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 blah. And I count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. I get all the way up to a minute and a half. 2-step pause, 3 steps max. You walk to the right. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, everybody has their own rhythm. Yeah, you got to break the rhythm. So for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, he didn't say nothing. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's a possibility. He done pissed off. We done pissed him off. He's done. He ain't messing with this. He ain't messing with this turkey. He ain't messing with his hen. He's not messing with her. She's trying to be too bougie, right? If you don't know what that means, look it up. She's trying to be too bougie. Or another hen has cut us off in between us and him, and he thinks that that's the hen that was called. So after a minute and 30 seconds has went by, which you think is a long time, or you think, oh, that's not long, that's long. Sitting in the woods, that's a long time. Right? So at 1 minute mark, I do a slow, soft call with the wing bone. Just small call with the wing bone. To see if I can get him to say, hey, big boy, I'm still up here. Hey, big boy, But I turn like this, kind of throw the sound this way with the wing bone. So he thinks that maybe she's moving or whatever. And then I go this way and I throw it this way, right? Trying to be like a ventriloquist, right? I don't think I've ever been startled as much as I've ever been startled doing this right here. I'm sitting here like this and I go, on the wing bone, it's like kissing. You got to kiss through the wing bone. I do like 4 calls. He gobbles one time. Just like that. It's like he gobbled and you grabbed him by the throat. That's all he done. When he done that, I'm looking, right? And then I hear pick, 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 pick. Now you got to remember now, I'm deaf to my left ear. All the hearing aid from the left ear puts in my right ear. I'm leaned up against this tree. My gun's laying at my feet because I'm the call man, right? My brother, he's directly at me like at 11 o'clock. He turns real slow, like this right here. to look towards me, and he's looking at me, and when he looks at me, his eyes get like this big. So that tells me that there's something behind me, so I do not move, man. I'm like, this friggin' hen stuck her head. Now, we got decoys out in front of us. This damn hen walked around, leaned her ass around the tree, and looked dead at me. I'm sitting here like this. She is literally right. I could literally reach out and grab that son of a gun by the neck, but I'm not that fast. There's no way. A turkey like lightning. They like a crow, man. They ain't no way. I'm sitting there just like this. Don't blink. Don't do nothing. Looking down. This heifer is right here. Literally right here. And she's like, pick, pick, pick. And her whole head just, she's looking. She knows that something ain't right, but she just don't know what it is. Because my camo is bad to the ass, right? I'm sitting there like this. She is literally right here. And she just keeps, pick, 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 pick. She starts getting louder and louder, and I'm thinking, you sorry ass heifer, you. She is fixing to light the woods up to let every turkey, every squirrel, every deer, every damn critter in the world, hey, something ain't right. Something ain't right. There's something up here. Y'all need to get on out of here. And my brother, since he is to the left of me, above me, and she is not looking at him, she's looking at me, he reaches with his left hand and starts shaking the leaves, right? Like that, scratching the leaves. That son of a gun, she went from like this to like that, just that quick. And she looked, and she ran straight in front of both of us, like that right there. And she turned. And then she seen the decoys. When she seen the decoys, that friggin' ass hen flogged the other two hen decoys. I mean, she literally jumped on them damn decoys. And we had, I use Avion decoys. So they look really, really, really good. Really, really good. She jumped on that damn, just knocked the damn hen off the damn pedestal. My brother's sitting there looking. She's sitting there kicking the damn decoy around like a football. And she is cutting up like a goddamn flat tire. And I'm thinking myself, we're done. We're done. This heifer is up here going all bougie. Up here going damn crazy. Up here. But another thing, you get to see how nature actually works in nature. I mean, it's crazy. Well, then all of a sudden, this damn 1.5-year-old Jake from State Farm, not a full gobbler. He's still a Jake. He ain't got a full fan. He don't have a full beard. He got like a little 5-6 inch beard, whatever. He comes running up through there like, hey, I'm here to save you, big girl. I'm here to save you. I'm here to save you. And he drops his wings down and tries to do the thunder chicken thing. He can't do shit. He just sitting there, whatever. And next thing I know, my damn brother's gun goes off. Boom! And I'm like, what the hell, man? Old damn turkey out there just doing the damn death flop. And I'm like, damn hen down through the woods. You hear shit running. Man, we was covered up. And I look at him and I said, what in the hell is wrong with you? He said, I got a shit. And I was like, what? He said, I got a shit. And I said, what's that got to do with anything? He said, man, my belly been boiling. Man, the old lady made damn kraut and weenies last night, man. That shit got my belly tore up. I got the shit. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, no, man, I got the shit. I know that's a gobbler, ain't it? I said, no, it was a Jake, but you can still shoot. He's like, man, I got the shit, Jake. I got the shit. And he gets up, goes down on the edge of the woods, takes his clothes off. And I said, you could have done that downwind. Your ass is rotten, man. He's like, get that damn turkey, man. Let's go. He said, I'm down here, my belly tore up. I'm about to shit all over myself. Had the damn bubblies, sauerkraut and weenies, man. sauerkraut and weenies and damn natural light, man. Sauerkraut and weenies, or sauerkraut and sausage, and damn Busch Light beer or whatever was on sale. That's what he would buy. Had the damn bubblies. He said, I got the shit. I mean, he killed a turkey. It was old Jake. I mean, he was probably about 14, 15 pounds. I mean, he was still a good turkey, but man, just smoked him, man. Just boom. Sound like me in the woods. Yeah. Just, I was like, when my brother was alive, we called him Green Bean. I was like, damn it, Green Bean, what are you shooting at? He said, I had the shit, man. I said, Lord have mercy. He done that to me when we went duck hunting one time. We would go duck hunting a lot. And we was duck hunting, and it was actually warm. I mean, it was actually favorable warm. And we was hunting on the river. And we was hunting under this hazelnut tree. Have you seen people come out of the... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we're just going to be story time today. So, and just to let y'all know, if anybody's watching, when I'm live, I don't bill the client when I'm live. So just for a public service announcement, when I'm live, like in here sanding and we're talking, I don't bill the client for that time. Now, when I'm in the booth painting and shit, that's a different story. But when I'm doing stuff like this and we doing story time and stuff, I don't bill the client for that. It's just not fair to do that. So we was. Oh yeah, when you gotta go, yeah, I appreciate that. Oh yeah. Hey, baby wipes, Coker, baby wipes. I keep a pack of baby wipes in my bag. Baby wipes. Baby wipes are your friend, man. Baby wipes are your friend. Yeah, I keep damn baby wipes. We was hunting on this creek bottom. It was actually the river, but it was like it's not a river that everybody goes to. Back then it wasn't, but now it is. But it used to bottleneck up like this and then bottle back out. Right that. And there's a big ass hazelnut tree, right? And that hazelnut tree is right by the river. And it's a sandy bottom right there. And the water usually about, I don't know, 10, 15 inches deep. And it's like a little pool of water. And then we put up some rocks to kind of hold the water back just a little bit. And then the hazelnuts fall into that, it's like that brown sandy mix. And we would set up I would either set up downriver or he would set up upriver. So if this was the tree and the river run down like this, he would set up on this side of the tree and I would set up on this side of the tree. So any ducks that was swimming upriver, I would get them. And then any ducks that's coming downriver, he would get them. So if the ducks are swimming upriver or flying upriver, the rule me and my brother had was if it was multiple ducks, you let the first two pass and then you shoot the last ones, right? That's just common courtesy, right? Because if you shoot the first ones, the rest of them are going to split and they're going to fly out and another man ain't going to get no shot. So me and my brother, we had just a common courtesy with each other. That's why I don't hunt with a lot of people, because a lot of people's not considerate. So he's on this side and I'm on this side, and the tree's in the middle, big ass tree, and we pretty good ways away from each other. And so if the ducks come through, you let the ducks go by, and then you shoot the tail end of the ducks, and then the ducks are going to keep going, and then he would shoot the ducks, right? So, and then I'd set a few decoys up in the shallow and stuff like that. He never called ducks because he didn't know how to call them, and so I would do all the calling, right? And it was in October, which was the week of his birthday, and we was hunting, right? And like I said, it was seasonably warm. So, I mean, we didn't have no waders or nothing on. We just had muck boots and stuff on. I'm sitting downriver from him, and it was early. You know, it just broke daylight and stuff. And then I'm like, now you got to know, you on the river's running, right? The river's running, right? So you got the airflow, right? I'm sitting there and I'm going, what's that smell? It's like, it smells shit. You know, like something dead. So I'm looking around, you know. I mean, you find all kinds of stuff in the woods, right? So I'm looking around, and I say, he said, yeah. I said, you good up there? And he said, yeah. I said, you all right up there? And he said, yeah. I said, what's going on? He said, damn old lady made goulash last night. I think she's trying to poison me. I was like, what? He's like, I ate too much goulash last night. I said, why in the hell are you eating goulash? Why in the hell are you eating goulash knowing our ass is going duck hunting this morning? He's like, I don't know. I said, he said, my damn belly's boiling. I said, yeah? He said, how you? I said, man, you're killing me down here, man. You're killing me down here, Biggie Smalls. You're killing me. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, you took a shit up there in the river? I said, man, you brought that smell right down to me. I said, next time I'm going up river and you go down river. He's like, yeah. You hear any ducks? I said, no, I don't hear nothing. All I smell is shit. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I said, we not paddling. Now, we paddled like 2.5 miles up the river with the canoe and the trolling motor to get where we at. I said, I ain't going back to the truck. You better do whatever you need to do. And he's like, yeah. Yeah. Old brother. That's where I poured him out. That's where I poured my brother out. So he wanted to be poured out. So unfortunately, my brother came to the same year my son died, January 28, 2019. That's the reunion of my son dying. My little boy passed away unexpectedly. And in June of in the same year, in June, 2 weeks before my little boy's birthday, which is June 19th, my brother called me one day and said, hey, he just remodeled his house. He paid all his bills off. He was debt-free by 50. He's actually 48 years old. And he said, bring some of them leg quarters and some of them tomatoes. And I said, I'm on my way. And I didn't get there. I was a little late. Sheriff's department called. And my brother decided to commit suicide. And, yeah. Grill was still burning when I got there for the chicken. So that's why I don't let things get to me, because you just don't never know. So I do still do hunting and stuff, but I hunt by myself. My brother used to help me cut firewood. He had a wood stove too, so we'd cut wood together. So yeah, people, I'm telling you, man, don't take things too seriously, and you really don't know what people are thinking. My brother was the most cool, laid back person that you ever want to meet. Never got loud, never done nothing. Now, he drank a little bit, but that's about it. And I mean, just occasionally. I mean, he didn't get just belligerent, whatever. Didn't have no bills, had all the stuff paid off for, had a good business. He was a carpenter. He done a lot of carpenter work. I helped him do a lot of that. And just one day, for whatever reason, he decided he didn't want to tote it no more. And since I was a little bit late, the neighbors seen the grill burning, and it got pretty big, you know, so they walked over there, and my brother was laying there on the ground. He shot himself. So, I hate to tell you that to ruin your New Year's, but what I'm telling you is life is so precious, man. Life is so precious. Time waits for nobody. Time waits for nobody. There's a graveyard full of people that thought they had more time. So my message to you today, with all these stories and stuff like that, laughing, my story for you today is, you think you have more time, you don't. The sand clock is running out. Time waits for no man or woman. So I don't make New Year resolutions. Only thing I say is just try to be a better person, you know. Just try to be a better person. So that's it. Enough of that. So the neighbor saw the grill burning before the gun. Hey, man, we live in the country, man. Hey, Mike, yes. Man, we live in the country, so it's always gunshots going off. You hear a gunshot, you don't think somebody just done something. They just seen the grill was burning, and it was like making excessive smoke. And, you know, the neighbor walked over there to see, hey, what's Green Bean cooking today? Because we was always grilling out. That's what I tell everybody. It's like, oh, JG can't cook. Oh, yeah, I can too. Oh, yeah. And then people want to talk trash about what you cook. Man, you don't know nothing about me, man. You don't know nothing about me. So the neighbor walked over to see what we were cooking that day. And my brother was laying there on the ground. So I'm a little mad at him for doing that, but he done that because I was on my way. So I would have ended up, I had to, after I got there, the law was there. I had to do my thing anyway, but I don't know. He didn't leave no note. He didn't leave nothing. He didn't text nobody. He didn't tell nothing. He didn't leave no note. He didn't leave nothing. Didn't say nothing to me on the phone. Sounded like he normally does. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just paid his house off a year before that. Just remodeled his house. Had no bills. Debt free. He was debt free at 48 years old. Zero. No debt. No debt. Absolutely none. His land was paid off. His house was paid off. Everything was paid off. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, JT. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. But that's enough of that. So I got some more crazy stories too. We went duck hunting. There was a bunch of us that went duck hunting. What y'all want y'all hear? A duck hunting fishing story? What y'all want to hear? I can change it up. It's that time of year again. We're coming up with the anniversary of my little boy, January 28th. We started a scholarship for him at the college to help other people live their lives. You know, we got that going on. So I think we've helped about 20 people in the last 5 years at the college to better their education and better their life using the tragedy of my son passing away unexpectedly in January 28, 2019. So we started a scholarship at the school, Forever Sick Scholarship, and it helps a lot of people, man. It helps a lot of people. So we took a tragedy and turned it into a positive. So. No, it wasn't an accident. No, the way it was done, it wasn't an accident. The way it was done, it wasn't an accident. So I look at stuff a whole lot different than most people. Lost my son in January 2019, and it wasn't from nothing that was going around then. And then my brother committed suicide in June. The same time. Yeah. So. All right, so there's this guy that I used to talk. There's this guy that used to hang around sometimes. We called him Barnes, right? And I knew him back in the day, and I hadn't talked to him in years, right? We used to do a lot of fishing and hunting and stuff together, you know, back in the day. Well, we kind of reassociated with each other, and we went fishing. And I got this on video. I literally got this on video. Man, I videoed all kinds of shit. GoPros, had GoPros on my head, GoPro on this, GoPro on my fishing pole. I got a lot of hunting videos too, but Facebook and YouTube kind of flagged it for whatever reason, so I can't show them, but I got them. I can screenshot it and post it and show you on the fishing. I guess the fishing thing would be all right. So where I live at, there's a bunch of farm ponds that I can fish. A lot of farm ponds, right? So he asked me one day, he's like, hey man, he says, let's go, you want to go fishing? And I was like, yeah, man, let's go. So it was in the springtime, and so he's like, where you want to go? I was like, I don't know. So we go to, he takes me to one of his spots, and we go fishing. So we go fishing, right? And we go to this pond and we fishing, whatever, we doing all this. And we in his little bitty boat he calls the Bass Hound. So it's like this little fiberglass little boat, you know, it's real small. It's probably like 8 foot long. It's not real big. He called it the Bass Hound, right? So we're fishing. We're doing pretty good, you know, we're doing pretty good. And he's up there, he's up front, and I guess he'd be up front. So he's up front and I'm at the back, right? Or whatever. Ever how you want to say it, right? So I love fishing with grubs. Small tackle, big grubs, big fish, right? Love it. I love the challenge. Anybody can get a damn fishing pole and put 15-pound test line and catch something and just snatch that sun gun in the boat. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get 800 subscribers before midnight tonight, which I know that's a big feat. We're trying to get 10,000, all right? So he's sitting there fishing. I got my little ultralight with like 4 to 6 pound test line. Got little grubs on there, little grub worms, right? Little jigs, like little grubs. And either 1/8 ounce weight or 1/4 ounce weight, whatever it is, right? So we're fishing this bank, this tree bank and this beaver dam, right? And a beaver dam is where the beavers just cut all the trees down and push them up to keep the water from going around, so it's real sticky and stuff like that. Well, that leaves a lot of space for fish and stuff to hide and predators and, you know, food source and stuff like that. So he's up there fishing with a brokeback minnow, you know, like a Rapala brokeback minnow or like a jerkbait or stuff like that. So he's bass fishing, right? So so we're sitting like this. He throws up like this and he's fishing, right? So I throw probably, if he's throwing here, I throw about 10 feet down the bank line. I throw out there and I let the jig fall, and then I'm just bumping it, right? All right, so if you're catching crappie or crappie, ever how you want to say it, it's Crappie. We call it crappie. Some people up north call it crappie. It's not an O, it's an A, but nevertheless. You say potato, I say potato. You say tomato, I say tomato. Whatever, right? So I throw up there and just fish on. Old pole just bent, just burning drag, just, and he goes, damn, JG, fish on. I said, fish on, baby. Pull up, nice crappie, right? Nice crappie. I said, he's like, we keeping them? And he's up there fishing, right? Old bald head and everything, he fishing. He's like, what? I said, are we keeping them or are we throwing them back? Because it's his pond, right? The place where we fishing at right now is his place, right? He's like, well, it depends on what they are and how big they are. I said, okay. So He said, what you got? I said, oh, I caught an old paper mouth. And he says, you caught a what? I said, a paper mouth. He's like, what the heck? And he's like this. He's like, what the hell is that? I said, a paper mouth. And he goes, he turned around like this right here. He's like, got this big old belly. He's like, a what? I said, a paper mouth, a crappie, black crappie, white crappie, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, what you got? So it's down at my feet. So I'm taking the grub out of his mouth. So I pick it up and I hold it up. And he says, I know you damn lying. I'm like, what? He's like, you caught that in here? I said, where the hell did you think I catch it at? I'm in your damn boat. He said, God damn, let me get the stranger. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So he gets the stranger and he run. I said, now, you know you can't put it through their mouths. He said, I know, you got to run it up through their gills. So he runs it up through their gills. And I said, okay, fine. So he and I said, you want to put it in the live well? And he's like, no, the live well. He says, I got stuff in the live well. I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, well, hey, man, I got bad experience of putting fish on a stringer and letting them hang in a pond over the boat because turtles and shit will eat them. He's like, no, I ain't never had that problem here. I said, okay. He's like, where the hell did you catch that at? I said, right there on that bank. He's like, really? So he takes, the trolling motor's on his end, so he turns it, oh, now we doing this community fishing. Where'd you catch that thing at? I said, right there, man. I said, drop the anchor, because if there's more than one, them sun guns ride in packs. So he drops the anchor. He takes that broken back Rapala. He throws it up. There's a little bit of broken back Rapala. So I get my stuff together, and so I cut the jig off and then I retie it, right? I do a modified polymer knot. That's what I call it. I don't know what it's called. I do a modified polymer knot. So I tie that, I fix it, I put the grub back on there, and he's fishing. I said, you gonna fish right there where I'm fishing at? He's like, what? I said, okay, man. He said, where'd you catch it at? I said, right there, man. I said, you see that persimmon tree on the bank? Right there in front of that persimmon tree. That's where I'm fishing. That's where I was fishing at. You done moved me down a little bit. Son of a bitch. He said, oh yeah, when I'm at the lake, they can't resist these little broken back minnow. And he just, so I'm using Arky Lures. So Arky Lures used to sponsor me and send me a bunch of shit, right? I got pictures of it on Facebook if anybody want to fact check me, right? Because I used to do a lot of fishing and do a lot of videos, right? So I'm using Arky Lures or Archie Lures or grubs, right? So with that being said, I put on a new grub. I take the old grub, I put it in the pack, whatever. I get my stuff together, and I said, fine, whatever. So the persimmon tree's right here, so I throw right below the persimmon tree and let it fall, and then I pull my rod this way so the jig would do like this and go underwater and go back to where I was at, because that joker's burning my persimmon tree up with that damn broken pack Rapala, right? I let it fall down and I pull up. I pull it up. I got a little 5-foot rod, right? I go get the rod and show it to you. Little 5-foot rod. I pull it up. I let it drop down. I got my finger on the string, and then I feel bump, bump, bump. I feel it go bump, 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 and then I just let it lax a little bit, and then I just reel and pull the rod, right? When I reel and pull the rod puts the spring action and just barely hooks that paper mouth. This is what he does. I know you lying. And I said, no, man, fish on. Pull it up, and he's like, what you got? Pick it up. He said, I know you lying. I said, what, man? He's like, what are you fishing with? I said, these little grubs, man. I said, these little grubs. Get it off. He puts it on a stringer. He said, I'm changing up. So he takes that broken back Rapala off, and he puts this little bitty, Helgamite jig on there, right? Little Helgamite. puts that on, little spinner bait, little jig, right? Pull in there and put it in there. Like, same thing. Same thing. Keep doing it. After the 6th crappie I caught, he said, "You got any more of them damn jigs?" I said, "Yes, that's all I got in these little bags. I mean, this is all I got. Can I get one?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem." He said, "You know the bad thing about it?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "JG, you beat all I ever seen, man." I said, "What's that?" He said, "I've been fishing this pond for years. Years. Years." He said, "The only thing I've ever caught in this pond is brim or shell cracker and bass, largemouth bass. That's it. And a couple catfish." He said, "I've never caught crappie in this pond. We ain't been in this pond 20 minutes, and you done caught a damn stringer full of crappie." Fine, whatever, man. So we fish, you know, we pretty much get the crappie right there, and then we fish that whole beaver dam all the way down. Catch the absolute fire out of crappie. Now, there's no limit in the ponds. You can keep whatever you want to keep in the ponds, right? So there's no limit, right? We catch a slew of damn crappie. We catch some largemouth and stuff like that, but panfish, like crappie and stuff like that, man, I love it. Love it. So, and the fight with the ultralight. He threw the jig out there and he got off. Damn, he got off. I said, "Man, you're ripping their mouths out, man." No, I sweat lead out. I don't work with lead because products, that's a good question. Products today don't like lead because of the peroxides and everything else that's in the body stuff, the paint and the primer and the body filler and all that. So when you put this new product over lead, they don't like each other and they will crawl off. So if you're going to use lead, you have to use products that are compatible with lead. My suggestion would you be the same suggestion I gave Big Fish the other day. He was asking about the lead on that 53 3100 Chevrolet pickup truck that he's doing, where all the joints are leaded in from the factory. Take a little torch, sweat all the lead out with a wire brush, get all the lead out, clean every bit of it out, spray either, if you're going to use etch primer, make sure the etch primer you're using is compatible with the epoxy you put over it, because some products don't like being over etched and they will crawl off. But you sweat it all out and then you put either weld through primer and cut you a metal strip and fill that section in with metal and spray it with weld through primer and then spray some 2K epoxy over it. Then you can put like Duraglass, fiberglass filler over that to shape it. Then put 2K epoxy over it. Then you can put body filler over that. Do not put body filler over bare metal. You can put Evercoat and fiberglass over bare metal. It says you can on the can, but I highly recommend not putting any body filler or anything over bare metal, because bare metal will sweat, and the heat, the hot and the cold from when you mix up the body filler or the fiberglass filler and you mix it in with a hardener and you get hot and cold, what happens when you go hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold? You create condensation. Condensation creates moisture. Moisture on bare metal creates rust. Rust is a living, breathing organism. It needs air and it needs water to make rust, right? So don't put fiberglass, and I know people do it all the time, and that's fine, and people's gonna say, "I've been doing that shit for 30 years. Well, guess what? We used to ride horse and buggies too, but we still don't do that shit, now do we? So there's a better way. So I would sweat it all out, and I got the tech bulletins to tell you to do this, so it ain't just me, it's in the book. Sweat all the lead out, clean everything, make sure it's good and cleaned, then spray either an etch primer or a 2K primer, but I would cut a piece of metal plate, like 16 gauge. I would cut it out and then put it in there, spray weld through primer, then weld the metal piece in there, then clean up your weld joints, and then spray 2K epoxy over it. Then do your body work, your filler over top of that. So that is completely sealed out, and then it won't twist and crack. And another thing, don't fill in that void with fiberglass filler. I know it says on the can you can fill it up to like 1/4 of an inch, but you don't have to fill it in 1/4 of an inch. So, you know, just do it that way. So, appreciate that, Yancey. Yeah. Just because we did it 50 years ago, don't mean don't make it right. You know, there's better ways, you know. There's better ways. So, back to the fishing thing. So, we fished that pond for a pretty good while. And then the next day, that was a Saturday. And then Sunday, he wanted to go fishing again. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing? Because he was off work. He's like, hey, man, you want to go fishing? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. I said, where you want to go? He's like, I don't know. He said, you got any place you want to go? And I was like, yeah, man. I said, yeah, I got somewhere we can go. I said, just come pick me up. So he come pick me up. And we drove to this pond. We was driving to this pond. And when we get to this pond, he looks at me and says, you serious right now? I said, yeah. We're fishing here. And I was like, yeah. How can you fish here? And I was like, what do you mean, how can I fish here? He said, man, this is the car pond. I was like, the what? The car pond. It's like, why do you call it the car pond? He said, because, man, one year this thing went dry and some boys got out here playing around and got a car stuck out in the middle, and then they fixed the pond and they stripped the car to get all the stuff out of it they could get out of it, and then the pond filled back up, and there's a damn pond, there's a car out in the middle of this damn pond. I said, yeah, I know that. He's like, really? I said, yes. He's like, what do you mean? I said, my cousins and them it was my cousin's mama's car. They got it stopped. It was like a Toyota Tercel or some shit. It's like a little Toyota Tercel hatchback car. He's like, yeah, a little bitty ass car. I said, yeah. Your cousin? I was like, yeah, my cousin was like 15, 16 years old, all fucked up, smoked dope, whatever. What's up, Craig? They got out there and it was dry, but they got close to the water or close to where it was wet and got it stuck up. And then they tried to pull it out with a tractor, and then they got stupid, and then they started shooting the damn car and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, man, it was a mess. And I said, yeah, my cousin used to stay in trouble all the time. I said, yeah, man, it was crazy. He's like, but you get to fish this pond. I was like, yeah, it's my grandma's pond. Your grandma? I was like, yeah. I said, who used to let you fish this pond? And he told me the guy that used to let him fish this pond. And I was like, yeah, that's my uncle. And he's like, what? And I was like, so me and this guy been friends for a long, long time, but we still didn't know our family. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude, I ain't been to this pond in years. I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah. So we fished that pond. I got this on video. So we crappie fishing. So I'm crappie fishing again, and we catching crappie. So the craziest thing happens, right? Now I got this on GoPro. I can prove this. So we up in this little nook, where they pull water out for irrigation, right? Where they used to irrigate for the peach trees. So it's a big ass hole. I mean, this sun gun's deep, right? So with that being said, we sitting there and we fishing in this deep hole. It's like a ledge where you would walk out and then you get to the pump house, the pump unit, and then the pump unit's in the water, and then you got the suction hose that goes all the way down. And when my granddaddy built the pond, this sun gun goes deep, and then they lined it with something concrete or some shit. I don't know. So it's like huge, right? And then this thing's like a sump station where it sucks all the water up to get. So my grandpa would suck the pond dry. During farming season, he didn't give a shit. You go over there and there'd be fish. And now this pond is fed by the creek, big ass creek. So it's always got fish and stuff in it from other creeks. My grandpa would suck the pond dry. Like, you'd go out there and the water be knee deep. Just he'd suck it dry. So we over there at this big old hole. I called it the black hole. We be over there fishing. And he's like, oh yeah, man, but I caught some big fish. So we over there crappie fishing. Well, Barnes, he's fishing and he catches this crappie, right? He catches this crappie, right? And he pulls up. The crappie comes up on top of the water. The crappie's about this big, right? Crappie's about this big. Crappie comes up on top of the water and does like this. And then all of a sudden, he brings it across that dark hole. All of a sudden, that sun gun goes, katoosh. And his line just, and he looks at me like, what just happened? What just happened? I say, fish on, baby, fish on. And he's reeling. And it's just burning drag on that little ultralight. And all of a sudden it goes limp. Like a lot of you guys did last night. Y'all went limp. And he's like, man, what just happened? I said, reel, man, reel. And he reels it up. And then the crappie's still on there. The crappie comes up and the crappie jumps out of the water, hits the water. When it goes back under the water, shoom, sun gun goes again. Just, shoom. And he's like, what's going on? I got this video. I'll find it today and I'll post it. He's like, what's going on? You know, I said, reel, damn it, reel. And he's reeling. Burning drag, baby, burning drag. Tight lines, ripped poles, ripped lips. He's just hammering, boy. All of a sudden, it goes limp again, like you boys did last night. You know, you boys went limp last night. And he just stops reeling. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, man, what's going on, man? And he starts reeling it. And all of a sudden, you see the crappie come up. And crappie comes up again and flops up like that. Hits the water, and he's reeling it in. Now, when it burns drag, man, it pulled just damn near all the damn string off his rod, whatever was on there. So it's probably from here to the wall from him, and he's reeling. Right, little crappie coming, you know, crappie comes out the water, hits the water again. Son of a gun hits it again, and this time he comes straight towards. I said, Barnes, reel, damn it, reel. And he's reeling. And it goes underneath the little bitty boat that he's got. And it's like, and I'm going, what in the hell is going on here? And then it just goes limp. And then he reels. The damn crappie, half of the crappie's gone. Like, just gone. Just, it's literally like you just ripped it apart. And he holds it up and he goes, what in the hell just happened? I said, I don't know. At first, I thought it was a bass that grabbed like a largemouth, you know, because I've caught largemouth on shell cracker, on bass minnows. A lot of people call them shell cracker, bass minnows. I've caught them on shit. I would have thought it'd have been a turtle too, but it was pulling, like really, really pulling, right? So I'm like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. And he is like just, dude, what in the world? Was that a beaver? What was that? And I was like, nah. Was it an otter? I was like, I don't know, man. I ain't got a clue. So now I'm skeptical, like what the hell this is, right? So we fish some more, you know, we catch some other stuff. We do this, we do that, we do this. And we fish the rest of the day. We catch some more fish. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So later on that week, I seen my uncle uptown. And he lived on the other side of the pond. And I told him, I said, hey, man. I said, hey, Matt. I said, hey, We was down there at the pond fishing Sunday over there at the black hole. He's like, yeah? I said, yeah. I said, we was over there fishing. I said, you remember old Barnes? He said, oh yeah, I remember him. I said, I ended up having him with me fishing. I said, he's over there at the black hole. And we was crappie fishing. And I told him, I actually showed him the footage on my phone because it was on the GoPro. And he laughed. He's like, yeah, that's funny. I was like, yeah. I said, we kind of skeptical what it was. He said, oh, I'll tell you what it probably was. I said, what's that? He said, this guy that he knew had went to the lake and caught a bunch of flathead cat. No, we ain't got no alligator gar. Not in no ponds. He said he went to the river and caught a bunch of flathead catfish. I said, yeah. He said he caught a bunch of them. No, I've got them stuck in my finger though. So we come to the conclusion that it was a flathead cat or a blue, either an Arkansas blue, either a blue catfish or a flathead that had done that in that dark hole over there, right? You know, over there, catfish. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I tell Barnes, I said, hey man, I said, my uncle said that this guy put a bunch of catfish in there. And he said, you think it was a catfish? And I said, I don't know, man. I said, it's possible. It's possible it was a catfish. Because it moved real fast. If it was a turtle, now we got alligator gar, but they're in the river. We got alligator gar in the river. I'm talking about in a pond. We even got well, you guys call them pike up north. We call them pickles. Here in North Carolina, they call pickles. Now, there's some ponds around there that people put pickles in or pikes in, and I throw them sun guns out on the bank. Them sun guns they just whatever. But anyways, so I tell Barnes, I said, hey man, I think it's catfish. He's like, nah, man. So I go back and I go and set some jugs. I go catch some bait and I put some jugs up. I don't know if it was the cat. I got pictures of this. I don't know if it's the catfish that grabbed a hold of Barnes's line. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I caught. I caught a 36-pound blue. And I caught a 46-pound flathead out of that pond. Yeah, I got pictures. And I took pictures of it and I sent it to Barnes and he's like, you serious? I said, yeah, man. I said, I set the jugs and I went back that next morning and I said, I use little buoys. Like the bumper buoys, the fender buoys that you use for boats, that's what I use, not jugs, right? That's what I used. And when I went up there, the damn thing was standing straight up at the edge of the bank. Use a stainless steel wire leader, the whole nine. The sun gun was standing up like that on the bank, you know, in the shallow water, standing up like that. So I go over there Man, we got ponds down here, man, 5-6 acres. I'm in North Carolina. Well, if you look it up on the wildlife forestry, they're called pickles. They're called pickles in North Carolina, according to the wildlife. But anyways, I go over there, you know, I get my little canoe and I paddle over there and that thing's sitting over there. I reach down and grab it. That sun gun goes under the water like Jaws. Just poof. I said, I got a damn turtle. I got an old damn snapplehead. I got a damn snapper. I got a damn cooter. I done caught me a damn leatherhead. And then that thing goes across the pond like that. I'm like, well, let me just let him rest. So let me go over here. And so when I got the other one and it was the blue, I was like, damn it, Bo. I got pictures of that one too. And This pond ain't but about, this pond might be 2 acres. So I get the first one, I get it on there, and I was like, damn it, Bo. So then I go over there to the shallow, and now it's in the shallow end, right? When I say shallow, 5, 6 foot. So I go over to the shallow end, and I take what I do is I reach down there on my hook, and I hook the damn buoy, and I get the buoy, and I don't move it. And then I hold it, and then I snap it with the D-ring to the canoe so it can't go nowhere, and I start paddling. And I paddle up to the bank, and I use the canoe as the counterweight. And I get it up there, and it's that big-ass flathead. That sun gun's head was that damn white. So much is huge, man. So I took pictures of it, and I took it to old Slim. I took it to Slim because he eats catfish and stuff, and I told him the next time I catch some catfish, I'll bring it to him. I took it over there to him, and I said, I was in my Jeep that I sold. And I told Slim, I said, hey, I got some catfish. I said, I got some kitty cats in the back of the truck, the Jeep. He's like, let me go get a bucket. I said, you're going to need more than a bucket. He's like, what? I said, you're going to need more than a bucket. Throw them things out on the ground. He's like, Lord have mercy. Where you get him at? Where'd you catch him at? I said, what? And he's like, he said, Lord have mercy, where'd you catch him at? I said, Slim, I catch fish. I said, what? He said, where you catch him at? Where you catch him at? I said, I catch fish where I always catch them. He said, where you catch him at, JG? I said, right in the damn mouth. Aw, man, you need to stop playing, man. You need to stop playing. Where you catch these fish at? In the damn water, right in the damn mouth. You ain't gonna tell me where you caught these at? I said, absolutely not. Why not? I said, because you know I don't do business like that. Man, I sure do appreciate it. We're gonna get the grease hot today. I got pictures too. I'll post them on my community post later today, and I'll say, I told y'all, just like I told y'all the other day about the Grand Prix, the 69 Grand Prix Pontiac, the 455 car. I posted it, just like I told you about the Typhoon, or the Cyclone convertible, only one ever made, that just popped up for sale. It's actually real Cyclone. I posted it up in the community post. If I tell it to you, that's a big old, hey. Hey man, it's always a mystery to me. It's always like, check this out. Let me tell you something. And then let me tell you about this mystery. I got a buddy. That built a pond at his house. It's literally like 10 acres, right? It's a 10-acre pond, right? It's not creek fed. It's not river fed. It's not nothing. It's spring fed, right? Spring fed, right? So he got to the point where he wanted to build him a pond. A nice pond. I mean, it's got a pond house. I mean, it's nice. It's right at 10 acres, right? So he took 10 acres and he built this nice pond. The pond might be about 8 acres, plus or minus. Very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. It's rain fed. No fish in it. Absolutely no fish. No fish. He's gonna professionally stock it. He was going to put like the bullhead minnows. Then he was going to put the copper-nosed bluegill. Then he was going to put the bass. Then he was going to put a couple catfish, right? And he was going to do this like over a 5-year period. I promise you. Somebody please explain this to me. Now, he built this pond. Know what? Nobody can get to it. No foot traffic can get to it. The only way to get to his house is you got to go down this long-ass driveway. It's like 2 miles long down this blue gravel driveway. It ain't like nobody walked there. It ain't like nobody walked through the woods. It just don't. So he built the pond, got the bottom, he got rocks, he got rock foundations, he's got fish reefs, he's got everything. He just laid it out, right? Laid it out. What's up, Gary? Just laid it. What's up, Outcast? Just laid it out. Picture perfect fish resort. Picture perfect, right? It took about 2 years for it to get full, right? It got full. Took 2 years for it to get full. The rain and everything, the spring had 2 years, right? 2 years. No fish. No fish. Zero. None. Zip. No fish. Now he had frogs and shit like that coming up. No fish. Not fed by the creeks, not nothing. He calls me one day and he said, man, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, what's that? He said, I got minnows in my pond. I was like, what? He said, I got minnows in my pond. And I'm pissed off. I was like, did you put minnows in it? He said, not yet. I said, what? He said, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna send you a video. He sent me a video, and around the edge of the bank, the way he made his banks, they started out shallow, and then they just slowly just went down like a gradual, because he had a section there that he brought a bunch of concrete, or sand. He brought we call it concrete sand. You get it from the plant. He brought a bunch of sand in and dumped it, so the kids could swim. So they could go swimming or whatever. Whatever, grandkids or whatever. He said, I want you to look, and around the edge of the bank where the grass was at, he had minnows everywhere. The whole dam just slammed full of minnows. It's like, dude, this is crazy. So crazy, right? So he calls the wildlife. He calls my buddy on the wildlife. He calls him, talks to him. He's like, are you sure nobody came up here and dumped nothing in the pond, this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah? And he's like, man, there's nobody been to my house. He was mad because he had a plan what he was going to do, how he was going to make the perfect fishing spot. Man-made pond. Yeah, man-made. Man-made. No outside water source going in it, no creek water. There's not a creek here that gets flooded and fills it up. None of that. It's out in the middle of nowhere. There ain't no water near it except the rain. He's pissed. He is so pissed that he gets the wildlife to come over there and bring a damn telephone, right? Telephone. Yeah, telephone. To electroshock the damn pond to see what's in the pond. He's pissed. Man, he got little brim. He got little brim and little bass in his pond that would just come up to the water. You want to talk about pissed. He was mad. He's like, I didn't put that in there. I had this plan. I had this regiment. I was going to do bullhead minnows and copper-nosed brim for a year. And then I was going to put largemouth bass in there for a year. And then he had it all laid out. What he was going to do. The first year he was going to put bullheaded minnows in there. And then like in the fall. And then in the spring, he was going to put copper-nosed bluegill in there, which get like big as dinner plates. He had all this, right? Pissed. I said, man, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm gonna seine my whole pond. I said, dude, you crazy, man. He's like, I didn't put that shit in my pond. And I said, man, you trying to make this perfect ecosystem. It ain't gonna work, man. So birds bring seeds and fish. Swear that fish eggs and birds. Hey, if a bird can take, if a duck or a goose can take duckweed from one pond to the next pond and put duckweed in a pond that wasn't in a pond or the swamp or the creek bottom. Mistletoe. Does anybody know how mistletoe is? Does anybody know what mistletoe is? Does anybody, who knows what mistletoe is? And I'm not, anybody know what mistletoe is? Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We just out here on New Year's. We block sanding, final sanding this 68 C10 fender, getting it ready for paint. We done the other one yesterday, so we're gonna keep sanding. Mistletoe is a fungus. That's right. Mistletoe is a parasite that comes. See, that's where we're going with that. So mistletoe is a fungus and is transported from tree to tree by birds because the seeds of a mistletoe is sticky and it gets stuck to their beak when they eat the berries, and it sticks to their feet. So when they go to another tree, the seed is sticky. They wipe their beak off on the tree. The seed is stuck in the bark. When it gets rained on and it germinates, it goes into the tree and starts, it's a parasite, and it grows on a tree. Now, can it kill the tree? Absolutely. If it gets a lot on it, it can kill a tree. That's what I think happens. I think that birds, geese, ducks, stuff like that, I think that they get fish eggs on their feet, on their legs, on their beaks, on their fur, whatever. I think that they get that and they move it from one section to the next section. I really believe that. So, same thing with mistletoe. What's up, Johnny from daggone Puerto Rico? Quite often. Yeah, so, yeah, there's trees over, I've seen trees for 30 years, like red oaks, pin oaks, maple trees that have mistletoe in the top of them, and they 30-some years, they older than I am, and I've seen them for 30 years. So a lot of people say, oh, the mistletoe, it'll kill a tree. Well, I mean, it might kill it, but it might not kill it in my lifetime. So, but yeah. Hey, 10-16, no politics and no religion. No politics and no religion, man. No politics and no religion over here. Did he notice that? Any bird ate? Oh, yeah, he had ducks and fish, you know, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, ducks are like bees, man. Yeah, so now I get to go hunt this other spot because it's after deer season. Today's the last day for deer season. So there's this place I get to duck hunt, but I can't hunt it till after deer season. So I'm excited about that. Oh yeah, woodies. Oh yeah. Man, woodies or something else. No, I don't watch no sports around here, man. No sports around here. I don't. How do you handle color matching on a custom paint? Ooh, Is it, that's a good question, 909. I appreciate that. I really do. Now, how do you color match when a custom paint has metallic or pearl? So is it a custom paint? Is it a custom paint mix, or is it a factory color? First, let's answer that question first. Is it a factory color, or somebody made a color? So it's full custom. So, well, today there is a lot of technology, right? A lot of technology. So if you can get access, I know there's an app. I don't know how good the app is. It's called a color matching app. You can download it on an iPhone or an Android. You can take the app on the phone. I've not used it. I need to try it out. You can lay the camera on the panel and take a picture of it. And you can do it in multiple locations of the panel because, you know, the sun fades the panel and wear and tear and stuff like that, right? So literally you can take the camera, your cell phone camera, lay it on and take a picture of it and just do it in multiple locations. And what I was told, that software will analyze the color and get you a paint code closest to possible as it can get, right? So that's one way. The second way, if you have a good paint store, like an automotive paint store in your area, they should have a color matching camera, right? And if you could take the vehicle to them or take something to them like a fender or something like where they can actually do the same thing with the color matching camera and do it in different spots. It'd be better if you could take the car or the truck and you could take a picture of the fender, picture of the hood, take different pictures, and then what that software will do, it'll do the same thing. It will take all of those pictures and put them together, and it will come up with a close formula to that color. So once you get a formula that is close to that color, then you can mix that color, right? Now, that's just the first part. Once you mix that color, then you're gonna have to do a letdown panel. So what you're gonna have to do is get you a spray out card that's gonna have G1, G3, G5, and G7 ground coats, which is light white all the way to dark gray. Then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to spray that spray out card with that color. And you have to write down everything, the air temperature, the reducer, what you were spraying with, the temperature outside, everything, right? How many coats, you write it all down. And you spray that panel, you spray that spray out card, you spray it. You put 3 coats on it, right? Now you go out there and then you spray clear over it, you clear it, and now you got 3 coats, right? So you got 3 coats over G1, which is white. You got 3 coats over G3, which is light gray. You got 3 coats over G5, which is dark, like a gray. And you got 3 coats over G7, which is black. Then you take that spray out card and you go out there and you put it next to the car or truck and see which one matches close. That's one way. The second way, once you get the paint code at the paint store can say, hey, look, that color is close to book number 3. So then they'll pull book number 3 out of the chart, and there will be hundreds of that shades of that color that you just picked or just pulled up the formula, even though somebody made it custom, and there will be a hole in that card. You take those cards out there and you lay it over the existing panel with the sunlight, and you just keep looking to find which one is the closest shade to the panel, the color that you have. Then when you get that done, He's like, okay, it's let's just say it's B163 Mazda RX-7 color 2015. It's got more red and more flop. That's the color that it comes up, okay? So then you mix that color up, you spray that color over a letdown card. The same way, you take that summer gun out there and you look at it and go, well, that's 3 coats. Let me go in here and do 4 coats and do 4 coats and then hold it up. Then once you find a color that looks good to you, have a couple other people look at that same color and see how it looks to them. And make sure you take it out into the sunshine or use a sunlight. Because everybody sees color different. I might see it one way, you see it another way, and somebody else sees it another way. Then you have to figure out which one is close, right? Now, if you're doing a spot panel fix, you're gonna have to blend the other panel with the new color to throw the eye off, so it doesn't look like it's so transition, right? So if you're gonna fix this fender, right, and this fender is closest to the body line, or let's say we was gonna fix this fender, right? Let me show you right here. Let's say we was gonna fix this fender, right? And the part that we was gonna fix is right here, right? So we fixed the fender right here, but we can't paint and just stop right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a letdown coat. So you'll blend it out, and then you'll just keep blending it. So you'll do the color, and then you'll like use blend agent or DBC 500 or Intercoat Clear, and you'll do the first coat. You know, you'll paint all this with the new color. Then you take the new color and you basically watering it down, cutting it down with DBC 500 or Intercoat base, which is clear base, and you'll blend it, and you'll just keep blending it. And you want to blend the new color over the old color pretty good ways, so it kind of throws it off with the flip and the flop. So you got the panel that's fixed here, but you can't just stop the new color because you'll be able to tell. So what you're doing is you're kind of asking it, hey, look, can you be forgiving for me just a little bit? And you take the new color and you just dust it over the old color until you just blend it out to nothing. So what that does is the flip and the flop in the color and the metallics and the pearls, what that will do is it will shift so much that you can't really see where it started and where it began. Now, let's say you had a problem right here and you adjust it to the door, right? So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to do it both ways. You're gonna have to fix the panel, then you have to blend it on the door, and you're gonna have to blend it this way. You're gonna have to blend it both ways. So if your spot's here, you're gonna have to blend it on the new door, and you got to blend it on the door, and you got to blend it this way. So what that's going to do is you got a hard line right there, and if you paint right up to this hard line to the edge of this, what's going to happen is the door's going to be here. The door's going to be the old color. This is going to be the new color. This is going to stick out like a sore thumb, and this is not. This is going to lay down, and you're like, oh shit, that fender don't match that door. Well, I know that because I stopped right there. That's called panel painting. You're going to have to blend it over onto the new door like you did over here to throw your eye off. So it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. Hey, I appreciate that, dude. Last question. When you're doing multiple stages, oh, that question there is meanwhile the body shop. Nice teaching, Michael. So last question. What do you do? Hold on, let me see if I missed anybody's question. Hold tight. All right. So last question. What do you do with multiple stages of custom effects? How do you balance the clear coat thickness with long-term durability? Okay, so are you talking about graphics? Are you talking about graphics, clears, or not clears? You talking about graphics, pearls, candies, metal flake, ice, crushed glass. Sometimes they call it ice. Is that what you're talking about? Like, if I was going to do multiple stages. Is that? I'm trying to see exactly where you at, so I know how to answer. So are you asking like if I was doing multiple layers? Now this is just a test piece. If I was doing multiple layers of graphics, and I'm stacking, if I'm stacking the graphics, do I do it all in one session or do I stack it? Is that where we at? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. All right. So it depends. It depends on a lot of stuff. Now, I'm speaking for me personally. I know there's a lot of people out there that do it a lot of different ways. And there's a lot of ways to do it. It's just as long as you get there, it's fine. Right? So, let me turn this down a little bit. So, if you're stacking graphics, you can use an intercoat clear, like DBC 500. Now, I know PPG. I mean, I think BSF is BC 504, 503 or something like that. I don't remember what House of Colors is. Shopline is JC 605, intercoat base clear, or intercoat base. I know Tampco's got some. I think they call theirs 3300. I don't. There's so many numbers out there, but it's basically an intercoat clear. So if I'm doing a panel and I'm stacking different layers of graphics, like multiple layers of graphics. Let's say we're doing like a 90s old school mini truck theme, right? Or lowrider graphics. So you got your ground coat, what you're building off of. Silver, black, whatever. Most of these times it's silver. So let's say we got our silver coat down. We prep it. We spray it silver. Either do high metallic or spray metal flake or whatever you want to do. You spray that down. Once that's down, then you lock that down with clear. Put at least 2 coats of clear to cover. If you're doing like big graphics, you're going to have to use maybe a very super high solid clear and maybe put 3 coats on. Here's the thing about metal flake. If you're using, I don't recommend using colored flake because colored flake is dyed. It's all silver anyway. So if you have metal flake that's colored, now I've used it before and I've learned this and I just don't use it no more. If it's going on a vehicle outside, now if it's going on a skate deck that's going on a wall hanging for artwork, yes, I will use it. But if it's going for something outside in the sunshine, I won't use colored flake. And here's one of the reasons why. Let's say you wanted to do a red top and you buy red flake, right? And then you spray the top of the car in red, like a base coat red, and then you spray it in red flake, and then you clear the shit out of it, right? So you want to make it look like Dorothy's red slippers, right? And then you got to go back and wet sand it to knock down. Well, when you wet sand colored flake and you cut the flake in half, it's silver on the inside. So it's going to be like salt and pepper. You're going to have red, but then you're going to have silver spots everywhere. So that's why I don't use colored flake. But let's say I wanted to spray red candy, right? So I would get the panel, prep the panel, spray silver, right? Spray silver, high metallic silver. Spray me some flake if you wanted to use flake or crushed glass or ice or whatever you wanted to use. Let's just say we're going to use silver metal flake. Say you're going to use 0.4 or 0.8 or 0.12, whatever he's going to use. You spray your metal flake down, right? You get all your metal flake. Hold on one second. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. All right. So now you sprayed your flake down, right? I'm back. I had to answer a text message. A guy's bringing me some wood. So you spray your metal flake down, and then you spray your clear down, right? Put 3 coats of clear. You let that gas off a little bit. Then you block your clear, right? You cut it with like 600, right? You cut it. Then you come back and you lay your graphics out, right? What's up, Source? You lay your graphics out. let's say the first round of graphics, you're going to do some lace pattern, right? So you do your lace pattern. You spray, let's say you're going to do green, do candy green. So you do your candy green, all your lace, right? Do all your lace in candy green. You shadow your edges in black. You do every bit of that, right? You untape everything. You can untape everything and you can lock it down with Intercoat Clear. And then it's one uniform over the whole thing. Some guys will just spray Intercoat Clear over their artwork, right? Just over the artwork. But when you do that, you're going to have just this little bitty hard line between the Intercoat Clear and the clear that you just sanded. Then you peel all your tape off. Now you got that little hard line. It's not bad, it's just a little hard line. Then you can tape up all that. Then you can build your graphics everywhere else and spray Intercoat Clear, right? So now you got Intercoat Clear, and your sections, right? And you do all these sections, right? Then you peel all that off. Now you got all these panels that are done in graphics, and you've locked it down with Intercoat Clear. The problem with that is every panel that you've done, you got a hard line and a hard line together. It's potentially for that to delaminate. Now, if you go back and spray the whole thing over Intercoat Clear, the solvents are going to melt that in, and that's going to melt back in. Some guys use a blend agent in a rattle can and go around and spray all their edges after the fact, and that will melt those two edges together, right? Then you let that dry off, then you tape up and you keep building your graphics up, and you use the Intercoat Clear, like DVC 500 or something like that. Or you can just peel all the shit off, do all your graphics, like do this graphic, then tape it up, put some paper over it, and just do all your panels, peel everything off at one time, and spray one coat Intercoat Clear at the same time and lock everything down on that panel. That's another way. Or you can do all that and spray a little bit of clear coat and clear coat the whole thing, and that locks it down and goes from there. The thing with Intercoat Clear, if you do Intercoat Clear and you stack it and you make a mistake and you go back to try to fix it, and you use alcohol wipes or wax and grease remover, sometimes the wax and grease remover is hot enough to loosen up the solvents in the DBC 500 and bleed into your graphics and wash them out. So there's multiple, if you're doing like multiple layers over a long period of time, I would lock everything down with clear. And you don't have to hammer it on there. You just put one nice medium wet coat, that locks it down, come back and block it with like 800, and then just stack it like that and just go to. A lot of people get mistaken and it's like, oh, you stacked all this coats of clear on there. Man, there's one time me and Eddie done a job, man. It had like 21 coats of clear on it, but it's stacked over time to get whatever. And you got to remember, it's graphics. This shit's gonna be waxed and this thing's gonna be waxed and polished and not in the sunshine, and use a high solid clear, use a good clear, and all that stuff. So there is a lot. That's how I do rally stripes. Yeah, there is a lot of ways to do it. A lot of ways to do it. Like on those panels over there, it was all in one session. There was no intercoat sprayed in between it. There was none of that stuff. I just let it dry off and do that. Now, if I'm putting pinstripes, like when I did that F-150, that two-tone F-150, and that square body, that two-tone square body, right? That's how I done it. I sprayed the truck. I sprayed the silver, right? Let the silver flash off. I went around, put one nice medium wet coat of DBC 500 down. I laid my fine line blue tape. Now here's the thing, when you're using blue tape, like fine line tape, FBS tape, a nice tape, and you go to peel the tape off, if it leaves a little track mark, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because when you come back and spray clear over it, it will melt that in and it'll go away. So I would spray the 500, or excuse me, I would spray the color, like the base color, let that flash off, come back and spray some DBC 500 on it, let that flash off about an hour or two, and then come back and lay out all my graphics, tape everything up, spray my pinstripe, peel all that off, and then clear it and be done. Oh, yeah. A helmet. Oh, you be easy with a helmet. Helmet, yeah. Hey, man, we got 147 people in here and 73 thumbs up. And we got 2, man, I appreciate it. Man, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Hey, I hate to cut this short, but I think he's here. A guy just texted me, brought me a load of wood. Boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. I'll come back later. I'll chat back in. But I really appreciate everybody stopping in on New Year's. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all that. We'll come back. We're going to have collards and pork chops and pintos and black-eyed peas and cornbread this evening. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch or sweep off anybody else. Put God first, Lucy and drag. Peace, up, and chicken grease them out. Hey, I appreciate you too, buddy.